Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Carly Jones.
You're listening to The Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey, Carly.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're
Doing
good. How are you
good.
doing?
Good.
Awesome. Well, let's get this show started. Tell us a little bit about you. What do you do?
So I am a real estate agent, but now I'm also a owner and a licensed partner of one of our franchises and a managing broker
Oh, nice.
of our shop in Michigan. And then I also work in Illinois. So the back and forth is really fun.
Yeah, that makes it fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you get into real estate?
So I actually was an attorney for a really long time, worked in litigation and did the whole big firm thing and had my kids and was like, not really my thing anymore. I want to be a little more available. Little did I know that real estate is not exactly, there's a lot of time in that too, but I like it a lot more. It's kind of flows better. And so when I was looking for something to do that kind of fit.
It's probably a
That's
little
awesome.
more flexible too, right? With having kids and
It is like I can, work my schedule as much as possible, so I can be there for soccer games or for skating or whatever it may be that my kids are into.
Yeah.
But it's nice because it gives me I get that legal end of it too, because I still keep my license. So I get to play a little bit with contracts and stuff like that, just in that I get to, still have some
Yeah.
legal end of my job, which is great.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
your fix in and on to the next step.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So when you decided to switch over to real estate, tell us about that transition? Did you were you like, hey, let's just go all in on this, or slowly transition, or what'd you have? How'd that go?
So it was about 6 years ago at this point. I had stayed home for a few years with my kids, and I give it out to all the stay-at-home moms. I am not meant to be one of them. So I decided I wanted to go back. I kind of dipped my feet in at first and was like, okay, I'm going to try this part-time, see how that goes. And that's just not my personality. So within 3 months, I had gotten a nanny and started working full-time. So
Nice.
kind of
Yeah.
threw myself in.
Nice. That's pretty cool. So tell us about your, because you're, you said part owner of the franchise, or tell us about that. How'd you decide to do that or get into that?
So when I joined my current brokerage, which was 2 years ago, I had said to them that I wanted to get my license in Michigan, but
Mhm.
we did not have a brokerage there. And they said to me, if you want to do it, we'll support you, and we'll figure this out. And as it evolved, it ended up that I love Michigan. I have huge ties to it. My husband's from there. We both went to University of Michigan. We still have season tickets to the football games. We have a house in Michigan. We're crazy Michigan people. But so I wanted to kind of have a base there too. So as the conversation kept going, they were like, do you have any interest in being a partner, an owner? Would you manage it? And the more we talked about it, the more it made sense. And so we kind of scouted out locations to see where we would be a good fit. And we're now in Douglas, which is awesome. Our company is very diverse and loves culture and all of that good stuff. So Douglas fits perfectly because it has all the art galleries and there's a lot of events, and we have the Saugatuck Art Center right there. So it's just it's a great place to be.
Nice.
So when you first started and you got your license, you were not in Michigan originally then, right?
No, so I was
Okay.
in Illinois for I think 5 years. And
Okay.
then we just opened up in Michigan. I've had my license for a year, but we opened up in Michigan officially, unofficially April 1st, officially July 1st.
Nice.
So
Okay.
we're still brand new.
I like it.
Nice.
Is it just you, or how many team members you got right now?
No, so there is 3 of us currently. I have 2 advisors, and then we have 1 more joining us in a week.
Nice.
And then we also have our office admin who keeps me sane because he keeps the office running. So he's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yes.
When you back when you started, did you get any advice that kind of helped you along the way that stuck with you?
Yes, one of my partners, who she's part of the Chicago branch as well, and then she's also with me in Michigan. She essentially said to me, if you believe you can do it, you can do it,
Mhm.
but plan on having a lot of work and plan on working hard. And she was right. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's really fulfilling, and it was something I wanted to do, and they helped me make it happen. So that was, just kind of have that positive attitude that it will
Yeah.
happen, and it does.
Yeah, having
Nice.
that mindset is huge. If you don't believe in yourself, you're probably not going to get very far.
No, for sure. And I've noticed too, like, when people are, this is never going to work, I'm never going to get this deal, they don't.
Yeah.
You have to believe that you're doing the right thing. And you're not always going to win everything, but you're going to get farther if you think positively.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of switching it to more so of a negative note here.
Yeah, go for it.
What's the worst property you're showing you've been to? Do any of them stick out and you're like, oh, we're not going back there? No way.
There are so many. It's interesting. It's like you'll walk into some properties and they're beautifully done, and it's like so cleaned up. You don't even think anybody lives there, but it's like gorgeous. There's two that like really come to mind. One was actually last week.
Okay.
I walked into a property and it was just, there were like pizza boxes everywhere. There was like pop bottles everywhere. There was just stuff everywhere. And it was all like half-eaten food. And when you walk into that, it's really hard to see the house. And also I'm always expecting like a mouse to come flying out at that point. So that one was interesting. And then I would say the other one was probably very similar to that, where you could not really walk through the house because it was so cluttered. And that was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And then there's some that you walk into and it's just, I have a house full of animals, so I get, the animal thing, but you walk in and you can just smell,
Yeah.
animals, and it's really hard to get past that for a lot of clients. So that's something I think smells and like looking need to be perfect to sell your house.
Yes. Yeah. Smells, I think, are the one thing that most people don't think about. And maybe they can't smell it because they're used to it. I don't know. Maybe they just can't
No,
smell
it's so
but
true. It's like, I
Yeah.
think sometimes they're surprised when you say something, but
Yeah.
I always say, like, I'm very honest with my sellers, and I'm like, you want to figure out what that is and just get, people, the old joke used to be that you would bake cookies, chocolate
Yeah.
chip cookies, to have that smell. Some people actually do that. It's
Yeah.
not a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
It makes it warm and cozy.
I've heard
Yeah.
that, and then brewing some coffee. For
Yes,
the coffee
there's
and the
something about
cookies.
coffee
Yeah.
that smell is just like very soothing too.
Yeah.
Do you have
But you have to
any-
be careful. You can't have like, the things you plug in, like just the deodorizers or the,
like
Oh, yeah.
the candle warmers, those type
yeah,
things?
like the
or-
air fresheners.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's almost worse because then people
Yeah.
think you're masking something.
Yeah. And they can be overpowering.
Oh,
Be
for sure.
very-
It's like,
yeah.
a lot of perfume or a lot of cologne, that type
Yes.
of thing.
No way. Because then you can still smell the animal and that other scent.
Right.
So you're like,
It's just
oh,
like there's too many
goodness.
things going on at once.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on how to maybe let a client know that their house isn't up to par and they need some work to be done? How do you go about that?
So my thing is, and I always tell my advisors to do this too, is be honest. Do it very nicely, but say, I'm here to help you. I'm here to make sure you get the most money for your house possible. And these are my suggestions. And you say to them, you don't have to do them, but just be aware it's going to be a little harder to sell your house if you don't, because
Yeah.
it doesn't appeal to as many people. And so I think honesty is always the best thing to do. But do it nicely, because I think, you don't want to upset them, because that's a house that they've lived in and loved
Right.
and had really good memories in. So you have to tread lightly, but you do have to be honest.
Yeah. What do you think is the number one thing that turns people away from a home, or maybe something that draws people in? Do you think it's like, I know everyone says the kitchen and the bathroom. Do you think that's more important, or the curb appeal outside to bring people up to the house?
I think a kitchen is still huge,
Okay.
especially after the pandemic, because we're all finding that we're cooking more at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're seeing so many people redo their house, is because they realized it didn't work when they're here more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in that camp. Like, we're about to redo our entire house because I got tired of it after a year and a half and realized it didn't really work. And I think too, like, bathrooms, not as much anymore. I mean, everybody wants a nice bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm noticing, like, in the primary bedroom and the bathroom, people don't really need the tub as much anymore. There are definitely people who still want it,
Yeah.
but you're finding in newer construction, it's not there. So I think more so what I'm finding is people want a great kitchen that's functional, and then they want a really nice living space. And typically they want two living spaces so they're not on top of each other.
Yeah.
Because like I think that was the other thing the pandemic showed was if we don't have places to separate, it's really hard when you're living with multiple people.
Yes. That in a home office, right? Because everyone was working from home for so long.
I have people now asking for 2 home offices.
Yeah.
You know, because there are so many people who aren't going back, that they're just remote now for good.
Yeah. I know the Michigan location is newer still, but what are your goals for the next year for the Michigan location? What do you guys want to accomplish?
So our goals are, one, we want to grow. We are always looking for people to come on. We don't just take anybody. We have a culture that we really like to continue, and the culture is collaboration, support, willingness to learn, willingness to work hard. So those are kind of our core values. And then the other thing I think too is just getting our name out there and known more. My advisors are all locals who are very connected to the community. I have one that's a superintendent part-time. I have another who's been in the community for years and she's raising her kids there, and she's involved in all the projects. And then our office admin has also been there for a ton of years and lives there and lives in Holland and has all those connections there. So yeah. I think too, just getting everybody to know who we are and what we do.
Yeah, and that's definitely awesome. Having a step into that community is going to help a ton. Having everybody in the office who kind of already knows what's going on is going to help spread the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could start over today with all the knowledge that you have, what's one thing that you would change?
There's so many. I think the main thing, and I try to tell my advisors to do this, and I try to do it in my own business too, is you have to time block.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem is when you don't time block, you end up, I'll be working on something and then something else comes up and I stop. And that's actually really destructive because you don't finish your thought and finish what you're doing. And I think it's really important to invest in yourself and to take the time and do what you think is important and what's good for your business. But I also think it's really important to step back at times and go for a run if you're a runner. Go to the art museum, go do things that make you happy. So don't make it all about work all the time.
Yeah. And I know that's very difficult for a lot of people to do, especially during this crazy market.
It is. I mean, it's just not stopping.
Yeah. One day, right? One day. But you got time block. You got to make time for that.
Yeah, except the problem is as soon as it slows down, we'll all start complaining that it's slow.
Exactly.
So, I'll take it like this any day.
Yep.
Awesome. Before we go today, how can people get a hold of you?
So you guys, we have a phone number, so you can call us at 269-331-3131. And then also our email, if you're just emailing the office, is shoreline@evedwardvictorrealestate.com. And we're also, if you're walking up and down Douglas, we're right there on Center Street. We're at 23 Center Street, Unit 2. So we're 2 doors down from Everyday People Cafe, which I know everybody knows. So we're right there, and you can always walk in. We always have our door open.
Awesome. I like it. That's perfect. Well, hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me.
Are these working?
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think that worked. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe? What do we got to point at it? Hey, I think there's a subscription button.
It might be there.
It might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Find
it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah, I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review for listening on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars, guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take 4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
I don't think this is working.
This is not working.
Yeah.